Hey folks, SC Closer here. Friends call me Vic. This is another episode of Vic C Stories and Tall Tales. In this episode, I'm going to talk about TPU. And I'm going to talk about a movie. The movie is called The Last Detail. Now, I'm sure at least some of you guys watching this have seen the movie The Last Detail. This movie had Jack Nicholson in it. And it also, I think, had a young Randy Quaid in it. Okay, this is when he was young. And there was some other people in the movie that I don't remember their names, but I had seen them in movies from the time period. And I think this was made sometime in the 70s. And they filmed it on the base. They filmed it at Norfolk, I think. Now, I was in Great Lakes, but the bases are very similar. And when I first saw that movie, it was before I went in the Navy, and I liked the movie, but I didn't quite understand the movie. And the reason I didn't understand the movie is I did not understand about TPU, okay? Because in the movie, Jack Nicholson and the other first class were in TPU. And knowing that now, I completely understand the entire movie. In my opinion, this is one of the most realistic Navy movies I have ever seen. It really is. Now, it's not a typical Navy movie. It's a lot different than most Navy movies you're going to see. I recommend that you watch it. And if you've seen it, comment and let me know. And if you haven't seen it, watch it and then come back and comment and tell me what you think about it. But I'm going to explain to you about TPU. TPU is the Transit Personnel Unit. That's where you go when you don't have any current orders, okay? So when you're just kind of being held in place, it's like a holding place. It's just, they send you over there, you go and you stay for however long it takes for you to get new orders to a new command, okay? So, there's just nothing for you to do. And so they come up with all these weird things, all these stupid working parties and stuff to put you on. They put me on a working party one time because they were going to have some parade or something out on the parade grounds out in front of Building 1. And they had these bleachers on the other side of the base stacked up, okay? So this is how they work these working parties. And I'll tell you more stories about the working parties. I'll do a whole episode on working parties. But we had to go down. There was like 5 of us on a working party. And we go down and we pick up these bleachers. They're aluminum bleachers. They're big bleachers, right? And we got to pick them up and carry them one at a time all the way across the base and put them in place and then go back and do it. I think it took a couple days, okay? But they're just making up work for you to do because there's nothing for you to do and they're trying to keep you busy. They should have just taken a truck down there. We could just load them on a truck. We could have had them all done before lunch, right? But no, that wouldn't take up enough time, so we got to go do them by hand. It takes 2 days. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff you end up doing when you're in TPU. When I was in TPU, they had like 2 men to a room, and you weren't allowed to have doors. Okay, because TPU, you got people like me that were awaiting orders. I just didn't have orders to go anywhere yet, so I was waiting to get orders to go to my first ship. But you also have people that are getting processed out of the Navy for various reasons. Sometimes it's medical. Sometimes, they got in trouble. Sometimes these people, are just got out of the brig or something, they had, getting all kinds of trouble. You just don't know. And it was just a very strange place. I had a roommate who was being processed out because he was doing acid. He got busted doing acid. And he was an interesting person. He would be telling me all kind of stuff. I know a lot about acid trips from talking to this guy, okay? Because I've never taken acid in my life. But this guy did, and he told me all about it. That's why I don't want none of it. But anyway, so you got all these people. There's nothing really for you to do, and you're bored, and it's not high morale, and and a lot of people have an attitude, okay, and so you're having to deal with this crap. Now that I know that, I was in TPU for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I was so happy to get out of there. Okay, so happy when I finally got my orders to San Diego. I was gone out the door. Okay, I had a limo come pick me up and take me to O'Hare Airport, and I left, and I never went back to Chicago. Not that I disliked Chicago, but I just never had an opportunity to go back. That's another story. But in that movie, The Last Detail, Jack Nicholson and the other first class, and I forget the guy's name that was playing him, that's where they were. They were in TPU. Okay, so they were just sitting over there. They had nothing to do. They were waiting orders to go to their next command. All through the movie, you hear Jack Nicholson and the other guy talking about it. And Jack Nicholson was a signalman, and he loved being a signalman. He wanted to go to another ship, and he was looking forward to it. And they just, these guys were what we call lifers, but they were always complaining. Okay, and there's a saying in the Navy that a bitching sailor is a happy sailor. These guys epitomize that. Okay, the character Jack Nicholson played reminds me so much of people I met in the Navy. He is just like many people I met in the Navy. He had that character down. He really did. And so I'm not going to go into all the details of that, but that was the story behind it. So that is why they got put on this special detail. Because number one, both of these guys were supposed to be tough guys. And so they didn't have nothing else to do. And so the Master Chief, I think it was a Master Chief, appointed them to go on this special detail for a couple of reasons. One's, I guess he just wanted to get those two guys out of his hair for a while, and and he needed somebody to go do this, and they just take people from TPU. So I guess that's my story about TPU. I didn't like it over there. I don't think they want you to like it over there. Okay. It's not a place that you want to be, and it's not necessarily a place that the military wants you to be either. But anyway, watch the movie and go into it with the understanding of what TPU is, and I think that you'll enjoy it.